All right, you're welcome to Landslide News this morning. I mean, a lot's happening. Showe has been freed. All of them are out now. He promised he was going to Oworoshoke today. We don't know how far he's gone. But beside that, a lot of things happening. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yeah. The man at the helm of affairs, Amupitan, professor, a son also, a lawyer of academic repute, has come out firing on all cylinder, telling us the time to go to court should expire in Nigeria. That what the people should do, that the legislation should back up a good INEC reform so that they can have a way forward. You've always said it, that the judges should not be the one to determine, 5 people should not be the one to determine what 30 million, 40 million people have come out to vote. Then 5 people now come to say it's for A, it's for B. I mean, Amupitan, let's extra him.
Yeah, he's beginning to go with very strong rhetorics. Personally, I'm not impressed because rhetorics will take us nowhere. We saw a whole lot of order from Mahmoud. We saw a lot of press releases, how they were going to do electronic transmission, how all that happened. I'm not impressed. But let's look at what he said. We cannot continue to allow the courts to determine our elections. I agree with him. How do we prevent the court from determining our election? There are 2 ways. One is to make a legislation. Let's go ahead. Make a legislation that amends the constitution, where the judges will not have the power to determine a winner or a loser in the first place. So once the actors, politicians know that at the front we are not going to get victory. So first of all, the battle comes down. Now, when the battle comes down, first of all, deny the judges that power by legislation.
That's number one.
That's number
on
one.
The side of the judges.
Go up and do that one.
Yes.
So let's everybody come down. We'll not come down to the constituency, which is the polling unit. Now, let the election that we cast on polling unit be what is visible to the whole world real time. The technology exists. Nigeria is not the poorest country in the whole world. Nigerian can afford that. If we can afford private jet for our president, we can. If we can afford SUVs for all the legislators, we can. If we can afford look at all the charters that is going on. We can use, this is not to go to Wiki, for example. If we can spend 39 billion naira to renovate International Conference Center, certainly we can get a real-time way of determining our election. These are the two simple things. But rhetorics and good English, all this, without taking these 2 steps, it's not going to work. I expect Amupitan, there's nothing that stops any agency in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, after the election, Mahmoud had over 500 and something recommendations. I expect Amupitan to put the laws together. Propose the law together. Push it to the National Assembly. Now that they have the one they are considering, it is still at a quicking stage. Nothing is final at this point. Let him move them.
Now let's look at it.
Now make electronic.
Okay, so that's what I'm coming to.
Yes.
Now look at it. As at 2001 thereabout, I think the whole total number of telephone lines in Nigeria were not more than 500.
I didn't have the count.
Yes, I'm telling you now. There were no more than 500,000. 500,000. Not up to 1 million. As at 2001.
Before
the advent of GSM.
Yes.
As we speak today, in fact, there used to be a GSM. They call it .9 I don't know if you know.
Not, of course not.
That one was done more than 50,000.
It was not. If not even it was not up to
50,000. The whole country.
How many people had it then?
But today, I mean, data is like water. Do you understand? This is something that we could easily do. Why are we not prying on it?
Let me tell you, that's what I'm saying. A man that is now saddled with the power and the opportunity to do it, and God graciously happens to come from law background, has no reason saying, look at one of his statements, say, my desire is that when we get the law right, it's not time for desire anymore. It's time to tell Nigerians, I have brought out a proposal. I am sending it to National Assembly. that what I have been saying for these few days, I am on board. I want them to put this so that I can do this. Calling on people who are going about their normal businesses, why we have paid you to do the work. We don't want a rhetoric of saying, oh, the losers will just congratulate the winner. How? It's not going to happen if the loser didn't see the election clearly and the whole world didn't see the election clearly. We have no way of jumping a real-time mandatory electronic transmission of results that is visible to everybody, either through a dedicated website or through any dedicated platform or on our phone or any format. We have no way of circumventing it, and now think losers will congratulate winners. No, bye. It's not
going to be bye-bye.
Yeah.
Philip, good morning once again. Talk is cheap. That's what they normally say.
Yes.
They said London is easy to see but difficult to go. Amupitan has come out talking as if London is at the backyard where we can just go to. But in going to London, you need a visa and you need permission. Talk is cheap. Do you think this man is going to follow his actions?
Well, Amupitan is a reputable and respected lawyer and a scholar. You know, he's a professor, and he's been around for some time. And I think he has built reputation for himself that he didn't want to just throw away into the dustbin. So, having said that, you know, we have said it over and over that the problem we have is, you know, the implementers of our law. The question before Amupitan is he ready to implement the law, or he's just going to play to the gallery, just like Mahmoud Yakub did in the past? You know, before, you know, going down to the 2023 election, there were so many assurances, like he said, rhetorics from INEC generally, from coming from Yakubu and the then Commissioner for Voters Education, one Okoye, who always told us how they are going to result are going to be real-time transmission of result and the rest of them. And Mahmoud had, Amupitan has started in that trajectory. He started, see, this kind of statement does not impress me in any way. There's going to be no more going to court. Yes, because that is what is trending. That's what people are holding against INEC. So you need to say that so that the people cannot say, is he trying to build confidence or something? Like I said, that's not what we want. The question is that we have election in Anambra State. We have election in Oshu, in Ekiti. We have in Oshu State that are coming up soon. We want to see him. And there's the Electoral Act is before the National Assembly for amendment. The legislature are to make laws. And when there's a bill before the House, the bills are concerned, the immediate, the primary is a beneficiary of that bill. What we call lobby, to see that the bill they want for themselves
and how they want it
exactly come out the way they want it. If Amupitan is serious, this is when to show, because the bill before the House has said that they want to, close up all the loopholes to ensure there's transmission of electronic result and all the rest of them. Let him show to us that he's lobbying the National Assembly to ensure that these clauses are there, because he said he wants a stronger legislation that will ensure, a transparent, election that the world will accept. And that's what Nigeria is. You don't just, come up with these rhetorics to placate Nigerians and then you go back to do different. You see, I am very, very, disturbed, because this is always the way they always started. They will start to show that they are ready to do all the beautiful things, starting from Jega. Amupitan should show to us in action, not in words.
Okay. Now, right. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Let me put it this way: why Amupitan's trajectory is very dangerous. As a matter of fact, it's really, really, really dangerous. If you ask any Nigerian today who want to be sincere, you say our electoral process so far, who do you think has been our major problem? They will say INEC. Some say, our politicians are very stubborn. Some will say the court. So it means that there is enough blame to go round, but principally INEC.
Who do you think is that?
In all Amupitan's statement, he has been shifting the blame away from INEC
to legislation.
He has exempted INEC completely as people that have a duty and something to do. One of his statements: if political parties obey their constitution, now political parties respect the Electoral Act and align with the Nigerian constitution, the avalanche of pre-election cases will collapse. In all, everybody is guilty but INEC. He still went further in this. My desire is that when we get the law right, even the losers, that's legislature. Where is INEC position? The operators of this election that is shameful, what is he going to do to INEC? Is he only auditing the things that have been happening in INEC? So where are we as INEC standing in the blame that the people know that the gap that we face between us and credible election today is INEC? Do you know why people say that? Even as terrible, Philip have always said that, even as terrible as our law is today, a good and independent INEC that has credibility can use it to deliver a credible election. Do you doubt me?
I don't. Now let me come to
it. So
let me come to Philip. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Now, Philip, in rounding up, INEC, from what Okafor told us now, has shifted the blame on whether it's political party or not. Why has INEC refused to make a stand when it's necessary? Even in political parties, they monitor the political parties. If they say what we recognize in this party is this, the political parties will share their sword. For example, let's take SDP. If they come out to the public and say all the shenanigans that are happening, this is your constitution submitted to us that we verify, go by that. Why has INEC not taken a stand?
You see, that is why I said the rhetoric of Amupitan is very dangerous. You see, at this point, we should even narrow it down to Amupitan, because he's the new man in charge of INEC. He's there to clean up INEC so that we can have a good INEC. Instead of him talking about how he's going to go about cleaning INEC, he has shifted the body to the political parties, to the National Assembly, without taking responsibility. That shows to you that this game is going to be more dangerous than what we have known before now. Because if the man from the beginning is not taking any responsibility, to say that what he's saying that INEC is doing their job. What has happened is that the political party are not obeying their constitution, they are not following the constitution, they are not obeying the Electoral Act. That's why we're having problem. Then we're in trouble. But if you have said, look, we are going to estray INEC and send out the bad eggs among us so that we can, give Nigeria an election that people will accept. That's why I said, I asked the question when the first time I opened my mouth to speak in this program, that look, is he prepared to implement the law? Because from what he says so far, he's not prepared to implement any law. He's saying that if A do his bit, B do his bit, and C do his bit, then I don't have work to do. So you don't have any work to do.
Okay, finally.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
INEC supervise everybody. Let me not say everybody.
Yeah.
The political parties,
at least.
Why don't they have a stronghold of the political parties?
Let me tell you, the other day, when Gabam, the SDP national chairman, was talking, he said police have verified from INEC that he is the substantive chairman. That he was actually saying that the then commissioner of police, that it's time for him to come and join SDP because he doesn't know his interest for not obeying those. You go to INEC will be dealing with these political parties in the manner that appears to be that they want everybody to be relevant. They want everybody to satisfy everybody. So meanwhile, you have your laws, you have the rules, and somebody is here coming in. The greatest mountain, mind you, was this same Amupitan that retranslated or re-explained to the entire Nigerians what the Supreme Court said about 2 years ago, and of course what the Electoral Act said in 2022. All of us were done this. So when we were fighting for Buhari to sign the Electoral Act so that there would be electronic transmission, we didn't know what we were fighting for. When we eventually got through with Buhari, over 23 CSOs fought for that. Many Nigerians protested and fought for that. We advocated so much for that. When we got it and rejoiced that there is electronic transmission is now available before INEC to do the job. Meanwhile, having a manual collation as option where electronic transmission wasn't feasible as exception. That was the law that was passed. That was what we knew. That was what the whole Nigerians understood. It took Amupitan to come and remind us and tell us that what Supreme Court meant was that the electronic transmission, the 2022 Electoral Act that we rejoiced over, was meant to verify manual collection. A man who started that way certainly didn't want to take responsibility. And if you don't take responsibility, you are not going to solve any problem.
You are not a good leader.
You are not going to solve any problem.
All right. We will be straying this further some other time and looking at, because we are going to start on the note to which the INEC chairman has started. That's why it's landslide news, and that's why we are giving you insight into everything that is possible. Don't go away. We'll be right back.